what's up? Welcome back to an edition of the Mandatory. It's been a minute, but we're here. If you like the content, hit that like and subscribe button. You can also follow us on our social media channels. We're at the Mandatory TKO, and you can also see in the description on our screens the ways that you can connect with us as well on our own personal social media platforms. Now, remember, we're also on the audio side. So if you got a couple of minutes, leave a rate and review you. And you can find us wherever you find your shows, wherever you find your podcast. We're there too. Give us a 5-star. That's going to help the channel grow. And we appreciate everyone that's been rocking with us. A little bit of a different stretch as of late in terms of boxing, Brian. There hasn't been much going on. So we've been away. We've been busy though. Both of us have been busy. And now we're back because it's a huge week in boxing, one of the biggest of the year. And we got, two of the top 3 boxers in the world that are going to be fighting. I'm not talking about Bud and Canelo. I'm talking about Bud and Inoue. Yes, we're going to be getting into both of those fights because we're going to be breaking down Terence Crawford, Canelo Alvarez, and we're also going to be breaking down Inoue versus Ahmed Aliyev. That's happening all this weekend. Brian, isn't that nuts? Like, I would have thought they would have given Inoue his own weekend, but that's just not what it is.
Would have been nice. I'm kind of tired. I'm kind of tired of like these fights falling under the radar for Inoue because again, though, he fights on a big weekend because he did this last time. It was the Times Square card. Jesus Christ. It was the Canelo fight.
Yeah.
And then Inoue on Sunday. And Inoue stole the show, saved the weekend. Or kind of did, at least for the most part. I just ate, so I'm holding back burps right now.
Yeah, no, you were like, I was like done with my intro when you were still chewing, and I'm like, oh, I gotta talk for 20 more seconds.
So basically where we're at is like, I think Inoue, we'll talk about both fights, obviously. We'll preview them. But I think with Inoue, like, I do wish he fought next weekend because ain't shit happening next weekend. This weekend, especially for someone like me, and this may only apply to someone like me because I'm a sicko, like, the things that I care about this weekend are like endless. You have these fights. You have the WNBA playoffs starting this weekend, Sunday. You obviously have the NFL Sunday and college football for a lot of people,
Saturday,
like yourself included. It's a big weekend this weekend. You also have the finals of Eurobasket on Sunday. Gold medal and bronze medal game. Semifinals are actually going to take place Friday. I'm literally watching Georgia and Finland right now, aside from what we're doing here, obviously. All these things happening. I feel like I'm missing something, but all these things are happening on baseball.
Yeah.
The Mets are in a playoff race. You know what I mean? Like, everything's happening this weekend. So I do wish it would space out a little bit more. I hate when boxing does this too. It'll be dormant for a while. And then when they come back, it's like you're coming back at a time where everything else seems to be going on. And it's just for the consumer who cares about multiple different things. And not all boxing fans do. There are boxing fans who literally just care about boxing. And, salute to you. You might be following this channel. We care about other things because, as you see and as you hear from time to time, we'll break into football conversations. Chantelle's Raiders are 1-0.
Yeah, man, they play Monday night. They play Monday night.
And they play Monday night coming up.
Which is huge.
Hopefully Brock Bowers is healthy.
He will be. Yeah, he's healthy. It's just a little bit of a tweak there. So if there's any Raiders fans watching, he's okay. He's going to play Monday.
I got Brenton Strange just in case.
Oh, gotcha. You should. Do you have Bowers on your team?
Yes,
I would play him. Yeah.
No. He's yeah.
Like, I would start him.
But I just got Strange just in case,
No, I have the inside scoop. He's playing on Monday. Okay, I got the inside scoop. He's playing on Monday
for the extra day too. I'm sure that'll help. But yeah, so we'll talk about it. And also, let me ask you this: do you feel like Canelo Crawford is under promoted?
Yes.
I do feel like we're not seeing them on First Take. We have it like under promoted, not to boxing fans, because boxing fans, like, you got them. They're going to be there no matter what. But this is a crossover fight, or should be at least. And it's going to be on Netflix of all places. But I feel like we're not seeing them do like the ESPN car wash that we've seen in the past with like Tank and Ryan, for example. We're not seeing them do like any of the big shows like that they're just kind of being promoted by Ring,
Yeah.
occasional Netflix ad, and it's like that's it.
You know what? This is the least promotion I've ever seen for the fight of the decade. This is the and maybe it doesn't need the promotion and it's going to be on Netflix. I think the numbers are going to be crazy. The numbers are going to be so good for this, and I think it's great for boxing that it is on Netflix, because if you have a subscription, you're not paying like a pay-per-view fee, right? And this is the fight of the decade, y'all. And but I'm not seeing any promotion. I'm also not seeing like any, well, I live in like a very boring place where they don't like care about boxing. But I will say that, like, I'm not seeing any of the stuff for fight parties. Are you? You're on mute, dude. Turn off the game, man. You're
Finally
not paying
got me.
attention.
No,
Okay,
no,
yeah.
no, no, no. I was actually posting a link into a Discord channel, um, which you can find on my YouTube channel, in the description to my last video. So I think with the fight promotion, usually what I'll see is, and I see this often with UFC cards, restaurants where I live at. So I'm in a part of Queens where there are a bunch of restaurants, good restaurants, for example, and it's New York City, so duh. And some of these restaurants, bar and restaurant type of places, they'll have like flyers or they'll have like these different, hey, um, come watch this fight here. We're gonna be airing it, whatever, whatever. They do it for a lot of UFC events.
Yeah.
They do it for some boxing fans. They tend to do it for Canelo Alvarez fights, especially the ones in May, because they'll loop in Cinco de Mayo. So it's kind of like borderline. It's kind of borderline stereotypical, but it's like you can watch Canelo and eat tacos because we have them, at a discount or whatever. But it's kind of weird when you think about it. But I'm of the mindset like, or I was of the mindset that this would be more places. And I'm not seeing places like even around here be like, hey, we're airing this fight. You know what I mean? I'm not seeing it like that. To
Yeah.
your fight party point.
Yeah, it's weird. But this is huge. This is a fight that is fight party worthy. And we're going to be breaking it all down. And later on in the show, we're going to get to Inoue and Akmadalia. But let's get right into it, Brian. On the money line, because we have to talk about the lines as well. Canelo is a minus 180 and Terence Crawford is a plus 145. I actually like these odds. They're not far apart. And if you were taking a look at like different outcomes by stoppage, Canelo's a plus 375. Look at the odds on this though. Bud is a plus 1,000. That's crazy to me. And we're gonna talk, we're gonna break this down. But just in terms of what you think about the odds, I feel like the odds look pretty decent, to be honest with you.
We're gonna pull them up here so people can see them on the screen. At the place we used to work at. Canelo Alvarez, Terence Crawford, as you mentioned, the odds here. Now they've been moving a little
Yeah.
bit more towards Crawford here because Alvarez was minus, I want to say 220-ish,
Oh,
something
wow.
along those lines, not that long ago. But it was here before because I remember I caught. I'm not going to mention the bet yet, but if you follow along, you probably know where we're going to land on this, or at least me. I think I've made it a little more obvious. I'm not as sure where you're going to go, but I think we may agree on this.
I don't think we
But
will.
oh, that's interesting. Okay. I think with this, yeah, Canelo Alvarez minus 180, it was a larger number before. Terence Crawford plus 140, so I feel like he was more profitable not that long ago. I remember him being in that 160, 166 sort of range. You mentioned the group round betting. I mean, the method of victory. We can get to group round betting at some point. So here, Terence Crawford, you said plus 1,000 in another book, plus 900 here to win by stoppage. Canelo Alvarez plus 370. And I find that interesting because I almost don't know what to make of the size difference here.
Yeah,
Like,
well, let's just get into it, right? Because we've been
yeah,
taking a look at the
we're
odds.
here.
So,
We're here.
so how are you? Like, how do you think this fight is going to go down? And what are your? How do you? Okay, you know what? Let's do it like this. Why don't you give your pick and then tell us why?
I bet months ago Terence Crawford to win this
Okay,
fight.
and
I
why do you think Bud is going to win this fight?
I just took the money line. Now, if you remember, we'll walk this back slightly because before this fight got announced, and I was like kind of against it, and you were like, "No, it's gonna happen. Watch." And I was like, "Oh, the weight difference, whatever." And even Canelo himself, people forget this. I was there when he said this. Canelo himself, before it wasn't the Williams School fight. It might have been the Edgar Berlanga fight. It was before one of these fights within the last year or so, where he said he didn't want to fight Crawford because he wasn't going to get credit for the win. And he would obviously, if he lost, it would look worse. But it was mainly because he wasn't going to get credit for beating up a guy who was so small. But we know with Canelo, like, and this is just the times we're in where like everyone at a certain profile just seems to be like just more money over everything in a brazen way than ever before. He was just like clearly trying to run up a number and trying to get the most. Like he was gonna fight Jake Paul before Turk just threw him a bag and was like, "Yo, we want to set you up with Crawford, but fight Williams School first here." And like he was clearly using either using Jake Paul as leverage or not carrying him. It's like, "Yo, by the way, I think a bunch of people would have rather have seen Jake Paul than Williams School." In any event, I have Terence Crawford winning this fight, and the reason why I've sort of shifted is because initially I was like, Canelo's going to be too big, but having seen Canelo kind of go sideways a little bit, like I still
Mm.
think he's great, but I know the Williams School fight was at 6 a.m., but man, Terence Crawford's going to do some of the same things School did, except he's going to throw punches. Throw more accurately, I should say, because Williams School threw punches. He nearly doubled up Canelo in terms of output. He was just whiffing at a lot of shit. But I think Terence Crawford is just better right now.
Mhm.
And I think he's one of the only dudes who can fill out properly in terms of the weight and is good enough to where it might not matter. Is good enough to where, and also he's not getting like the peak version of Canelo Alvarez. I don't think the peak version of Canelo Alvarez has been here for a while. He hasn't gotten a stoppage in several fights. He hasn't gotten a stoppage in about 4 years. And we could say Terence Crawford didn't look awesome in his last fight. I think one, he looked better against Madrimov than Canelo did against School. Two, Madrimov is a tricky opponent. He probably actually had a draw with Virgil Ortiz after this, if not very close. So like Madrimov is good, like legitimately good. He might be top 5 in that weight class. William School is not top 5 in his weight class.
Mhm.
So to me, it's not like Terence Crawford's gonna whoop his ass. And I don't think it's gonna be like a completely one-sided dominant ass whooping. I don't think it's gonna be Errol Spence, but I just think he's better. I just
Yeah.
think he's all around better. He's gonna move, he's gonna counter punch. He might retire after this too. Like, and I feel like there is something to be said for I think he's gonna pour everything he fucking has into this. Not that
Yeah.
Canelo isn't, but I think with Terence Crawford, like Terence Crawford absolutely needs to win this fight more than Canelo Alvarez does. Canelo Alvarez is good regardless of what he says or regardless of what people say about like the weight difference or whatever. Like he already has a couple losses on his record and probably should have more. Terence Crawford, like this and Spence, he's good. All timer, doesn't need to do shit else.
Yeah. For me, it's like it's my heart is going one way and my mind is going the other. I think this is how the fight is going to go. I think there's going to be a lot of close rounds. I think Canelo is going to get off to the early start in this one. And I think Bud is going to win the later rounds. I think the fight goes the distance. I don't think there's going to be a stoppage in this fight.
Agree.
And what's going to happen is there's going to be so many swing rounds that we're going to get to the end of the fight and everyone's going to be saying Bud won or Canelo won. And we're going to get a controversial decision in Vegas. That's what's going to happen in this fight.
Of course.
And so it's going to be controversial. You know it. It's going to go one way or the other. It's going to be like a majority decision, a split decision. It could be a draw. It's going to be extremely controversial. There's different aspects to this fight where I'm like, I don't really want to bet on this fight. Because here's the thing.
I can see that.
You mentioned boxing is all about like, quote Janet Jackson, what have you done for me lately?
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned Madrimov against Bud. Bud didn't hurt Madrimov. Bud was coming up from 147 to 154 in that fight. He didn't hurt Madrimov in that fight, but he won distinctively, in my opinion. He won 8 rounds of that fight. But you're moving up to 154. You don't hurt Madrimov, who is a tricky fighter, but then you're moving up 2 more weight classes, right? The one thing I'll give Bud is we know he has the power advantage, in my opinion. He has the power advantage, even though he's a smaller guy. He has the will, he has the drive. He's going to give it everything he's got. Canelo, there's questions about how much he wants it at this point, right? Like, let's be serious here. Like, his drive is not the same. He's been doing this for a minute, a little bit younger than Bud Crawford, but this is Bud's biggest fight. Like, we're talking about legacies here, right? And I think Canelo has more to lose in this fight. However, when you talk about the William School fight, it's like William School uses a lot of lateral movement, and he was running around the ring a lot. Like, that's a fight where Canelo, if you know how Canelo fights, he likes to come forward. You know, he's not like very like, he's kind of one-dimensional, to be honest, sometimes. Canelo, right? Good body puncher.
This version
Yeah.
of him, sure.
Yeah, like obviously, like he's a little bit older now, but it's like in terms of IQ and stuff, Canelo and Bud both have great IQs. But I'll say this, like, Canelo's going to try to come forward. He's going to try to bully Crawford, but it's like, do you really want to bully Crawford? Because Crawford's going to try to bully you back. Like, you know, and also the one thing about it, and this is the fact where I'm like, I don't know who to pick. Bud's a switch. He's a switch hitter, right? He can go to southpaw. Canelo has problems with southpaws throughout his history. He has had problems with southpaws. But here's the thing. It's like, I don't think there's going to be a stoppage. And what does Vegas love? Vegas loves Canelo. Okay. So when we talk about scorecards, we talk about work rate. I think Canelo is going to try to have a higher work rate than Bud. Bud is very, the thing about Bud is he has a good work rate as well. Both these guys don't have a crazy work rate though, right? And they are very accurate with their punches. Like, Bud is a very accurate puncher. I think there's going to be a lot of swing rounds. I think this is going to be an extremely close fight. It makes me not want to bet on this fight unless I'm betting on draw or like a majority or split decision. Think the fight goes the distance. I don't think there's going to be a stoppage in this fight, but like, I don't know how to pick with those aspects of this fight, if I'm being honest with you, because I think we're going to get to the scorecards and it's going to go 2 ways. Like, I'm rooting for Bud. I'll say it right here. I'm going for Bud Crawford in this fight. But I think when it comes to the scorecards in Vegas, they're going to give it to Canelo. It's going to be controversial and people are going to be like, well, Bud won, because Bud has to knock out or get the stoppage against Canelo. Even if we think he won on the cards, even if we think he got it done on the cards, I hate to say it, Canelo's going to win on the cards. Okay, he's going to win on the cards unless like we see him like dominate like how he did Spence. I don't see that happening. And also take into account, like, Canelo did drop Munguia, right? He did also drop Berlanga. Those guys are way bigger than Bud. Those guys are way bigger than Bud. And it's like the Madrimov fight, to me, I thought Bud fought well, but it's a little bit underwhelming. And then you're jumping up 2 more weight classes and we're expecting you to hurt Canelo, but you weren't able to hurt Madrimov. There's going to be no stoppage in this fight. So it has to be done on the cards. And I just don't think they're going to give it to Bud. So, like, that's just how I see it. So if I'm placing my money, I'm definitely placing my money on a draw. They're going to make 3 fights out of this, y'all. I'm going to be honest.
We'll see.
They're going to make 3 fights out of this. I'm telling you right now. They're going to make the most money they've ever made, and then they're going to sail off into the sunset. So you're asking me who my pick is? In my heart, I'm going with Bud. In my mind, I'm going with Canelo. I think Canelo gets the decision on the cards. I think it's going to be like a split, a majority decision, like 115, 113, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Canelo will win. Vegas will give him the dub, even if we think Bud won on the cards. Vegas ain't going to give it to him. Like, I'm telling you guys right now, and we're having a post-fight show. So remember to join us right after the final bell rings when they read the scorecards and it's controversial as hell. Come and join us because we're going to break it all down. But it's like, I want Bud to win. And I just don't see him hurting Canelo. Like, I don't. Because, like, he wasn't able to hurt Madrimov, dude. And so Canelo's got one of the best chins in boxing.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's hard for me. I'm rooting for Bud, but I'm gonna place my money on Canelo, and I'm also gonna place my money on the draw because it's like the draw. Like, what is the draw? I think like I saw it for like a plus like 1,000 or something like that. Like I'm not like
1300.
I'm placing $100 on that. I'm
100.
just
I'm not
I
joking.
am.
I
I've
ain't
been
placing
betting
a
kind of
hundred
big
bet a
lately.
hundred on anything in this fight.
I've been betting heavy lately. Like,
We'll talk exact method of victory, and then we'll get to comments because we have a bunch. And please keep them coming. As Shantelle mentioned, we'll have a post-fight show after the fight. Canelo Alvarez to win by knockout 1,000, technical knockout 600. We'll ignore the DQ. I don't think Terence Crawford's going to hit him in the balls deliberately several times.
no.
Um, Canelo by split decision, by unanimous decisions plus 190. I don't think there's real value there.
Yeah.
By split decision plus 600 is very interesting because of the reasons you mentioned. Canelo Alvarez tends to get favorable judging, be it in the Miguel Cotto fight, where the judges saw a much more one-sided fight than the rest of us did, or Erislandy Lara, where some people think Canelo Alvarez should have straight up lost, or Dimitri Bivol, where the judges had it 115, 113 at a fight that Canelo Alvarez clearly didn't win more than maybe 3 rounds, maybe, probably 2. Um, the first 2 Triple G fights where Canelo Alvarez probably could have lost both. Definitely the first one, but probably both. Floyd Mayweather, the famous, I think it was CJ Ross card, 114, 114, for a fight that we all saw was 9-3 Floyd at least. Like this has just happened. This has just been a theme with Canelo throughout his career. I don't think Canelo Alvarez is paying off judges. I don't I don't want to say that his team is, but he does get favorable scorecards from at least one judge out of the 3, and that one could obviously swing the fight unless Terence Crawford dominates. I think he can do enough to win, though. I think he can do enough to win. I do worry. See, he's older than Canelo Alvarez, but he's fought 41 times versus Canelo Alvarez is 67. Canelo's fought a lot more rounds than Terence Crawford has. Canelo Alvarez has been a pro 3 years longer. He's been a pro for 20 years. So he has 67 fights in 20 years. And Terence Crawford has 41 fights in 17 years. And he's been
Yeah.
fighting once a year since 2020. So this will be the 5th or 6th time that he's just fighting once in a year, because the last time he fought twice in a year was 2019, which I bring up all the time, Amir Khan and Mean Machine. And I know he's smaller, but we've seen guys go up. Like we've seen Roy Jones Jr. happen, for example. We've seen, I mean, until Felix Trinidad ran into Bernard Hopkins, but we saw him sort of quickly jump from, I mean, he had a brief stint at 154, but he went from 147 damn near straight to 160 and knocked out William Joppy, who was like a real dude at the time.
Yeah. I'll say this though, with him gaining weight, I think Bud's going to be ready, but at the same time, it's like I also think inactivity does catch up to you at some point. And Bud's not like the most active boxer, but he's been preparing for this for like a year, right? He fights like once a year, and then it's like you're jumping, you jumped up to one weight class, and then you're jumping up to 2 weight classes. But it's like you don't actually know how your body is in the ring when you jump off that many weight classes. Like you don't, are you still going to be smooth? Like Terence Crawford is like super smooth and elusive as well in the ring, right? Is he still going to have that aspect? Like he's that weight gain. It's like, how do you move around in the ring? I think Bud's going to be fine, but at the same time, like we don't know. We're going to see it for the first time. Whereas like Canelo, he's been a little bit more active, and this is his weight class, right? So here's the thing, though. I think Bud has the power to also hurt Canelo, though. He has that factor. And at the same time, like we haven't really seen Canelo hurt anybody in a minute. Like when was the last, you know what I mean? Like he's dropped a few guys, but he hasn't hurt nobody. So it's like, I mean, the last guy was Caleb Plant. That was years ago.
I never thought he was gonna like when he dropped Berlanga. I was like, Berlanga's gonna get up and keep fighting.
Well, we knew
And
Berlanga was going to get dropped. Like, let's be serious.
we bet on it.
Yeah.
We bet on the knock because Berlanga's chinny.
Yeah.
Jaime Munguia like
You could say he's chinny too.
the,
He's been dropped.
the thing with these dudes, Jermel Charlo, and that's an example of somebody jumping up 2 weight classes, and he didn't win any part of that fight. But what I would tell you is Terence Crawford, I think, is much better than Jermel Charlo. One, two,
Oh my
I don't
god.
think
Yeah.
I don't think he's gonna fight the way Jermel Charlo did, where Jermel Charlo looked disinterested in that fight after a while.
But he's also not going to fight like William School. Like
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like that's the thing. I think where Canelo will have trouble is when Bud switches to southpaw. He's a switch
And
hitter.
he's gonna do it right away because lately
Yeah.
he's just been southpaw damn near. And Canelo Alvarez struggled cutting off the ring against William School in a way where he looked especially flat-footed. Is that something that's gonna carry over?
I don't think Canelo is going to have luck cutting off the ring against Bud either, though. Like I think Bud has a very high IQ. Like he reels you in. His timing and accuracy is everything, and so that's why I think there's going to be a lot of swing rounds, and we're going to be looking at this on X, on Twitter, whatever the hell you want to call it.
Twitter.
And okay, yeah, let's rock with that. And you're going to be seeing people saying that Canelo's won that round or Bud's won that round. Like it's going to be a mix. This is going to be honestly, Brian, like I said, my heart's with Bud. I hope he wins on the cards because I don't think there will be a stoppage, but I think it's going to go to Canelo. Here's how I think it's going to go. Like if I was rigging this, I would I would have the first fight be a draw. I would then have Canelo win by split decision in the second fight. I would then have Bud win by unanimous decision in the third fight. Then make them both sail off into the sunset. That's how I would
Or
have it.
fight a fourth time because Canelo has a 4-fight deal. Although I think he has 3 fights left on that 4-fight deal.
Yeah. All I know is that like it's a legacy fight. I think it's hella dope. No, that's how I would have it if I was reading this. I think it's hella dope, and I think we're seeing two of the best of this decade, of this generation. And I think we're going to get a really good fight. I think both these guys are going to put on a show because I think
I
that's the
disagree
thing
with that part.
Okay, so we had a comment about this possibly
Yeah.
being like a sparring
We'll,
match. Do you believe this could be boring?
We'll get to it. I just wanna
Okay.
because I will
Well, we got to get to it quickly because I got to leave soon.
I will get to that in the comments. Just want to note real quick because we had it up. Terence Crawford by knockout is plus 1900. So that's a knockout, not a technical knockout. Technical knockout plus 1300. To him by unanimous decision, Terence Crawford plus 330. We're very skeptical that happens, but we think he can earn it. He just probably won't actually get it from the judges if that's the case. Split decision plus 900. Love that. Majority decision plus 1300. Love that. I think either guy by majority or split decision makes a ton of sense.
One more thing though. Do you think Crawford's speed will be too much for Canelo? Because we've seen Canelo like there's been a little bit of a downward spiral for him in a sense where we can see the drop off. Like he's not the same Canelo. Like we can admit that, right? We can admit
have
this
to.
on the show.
We even Canelo's diehard fans, who I know are like, if they find us, they're gonna just tear us apart. Probably
Not really, because I'm saying I'm literally saying Canelo's
they're not hearing that shit. They're hearing you say you think Crawford is gonna win. They're hearing me say I think Crawford's gonna win.
But I just said Canelo is gonna win, or it could be a draw.
Yeah, but it's tongue in cheek kind of. But regardless, like I think even if you're a Canelo diehard and this is your guy, you have to acknowledge like he's just not the same as he was 4 years ago. You know what I mean? Like ever since the Dimitri Bivol fight, he hasn't quite been the same dude. And this is why a lot of people have been pissed about the matchmaking and him not fighting Dave Benavidez is a glaring example. And I was saying 2 years ago, I'm like, Dave Benavidez will beat him at this stage, like the way he's looked as of late. He should have really finished John Ryder. John Ryder's the guy that he really should have finished. I know Ryder had only been stopped once prior to
he was coming back from hand surgery though, or like wrist surgery. So
yeah,
like,
but
you know
remember
what
I told you? Like the ring in Mexico, that shit looked tiny on TV. And
but at the same time, like let's be serious. Like Bud should have stopped Madrimov. Like his KO.
I disagree because I think Madrimov is better at 154 than Ryder ever was at 168.
No, I agree with that. But when you're coming back from like a surgery of like your hand, like I don't think there's confidence in that, right?
So
like,
why are you fighting then?
Okay, but you're still because you're Canelo Alvarez. Have you ever broken a bone before?
Yeah.
What did you break?
My wrist when I was really young, though.
Okay, and were you playing sport? Okay, so this doesn't count.
I don't even remember how I broke it. I just remember being in the hospital.
I broke my ankle. I broke my ankle before, and I even now when I play rec basketball, even though I still drop 15 and 5 and go home, no defense though. I will say this: when I go up for like a layup and I land, like I still think in my head, like, yo, am I gonna break my ankle? Like I still have that fear in my head. Like, and this is like 15 years later. I still have that fear. Like my ankle is not the same. And it's like you need your power in your hand. So it's like Canelo didn't get the stoppage, but he dominated every round, right? But we haven't seen
Well,
him
not the
like
last two. John Ryder fucking came to life in the last couple rounds of that fight.
Canelo was probably like
But
whatever,
still,
you know what I mean?
whatever.
But you know what I'm trying
Let's
to say
do
here.
comments. We're long overdue. Jesus
Yeah.
says if it's a real bout, Crawford wins easy, hurts fake Nello. But if it's a sparring session, snoozer, it's a draw.
Okay, so you get to this though. Like, do you think it's going to be a snoozer?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a boring fight,
Why? Tell
most
me
likely.
why.
Because I don't think Canelo is like
Motivated?
do you think Canelo Alvarez's fights against Berlanga and Munguia and William School were exciting? And the last Golovkin fight
Can I say this?
and John Ryder?
Can I say this? I think Canelo is just like he's accomplished so much and he's done so much that now he's like bored. I swear, I swear. I think Canelo's just like, oh, I better just get in here and make
This
some
is the
like
last
money.
dude I want to
You
be
know what I
bored
mean?
against.
I know, no, but I don't think he will
I
though,
also think,
because it's
but
like legacies are on the line here.
but I think stylistically also, Terence Crawford's going to be more defensive. He's going to try to be a counterpuncher, and because Canelo Alvarez doesn't cut off the ring like he used to, I think it could like there's going to be stretches where it's like, oh brother, like what the fuck, you know? But I think Terence Crawford will ultimately push the envelope if he has to, though. Like he'll get activated and then just like he threw 400, I think it was 433 punches against Madrimov. That's still 36 punches per round.
Yeah.
That's still 12 punches a minute. Like that's still reasonable output.
Bud is
Way more
also
than Canelo
accurate.
did in his last fight.
Bud is also accurate too, right? And Bud's one of those guys that will take a chance. Bud will take a chance and get hit, and at the same time have the best timing and land one on you. Like he's one of those. He's a very crafty fighter, Bud, and so I think we all agree that he also has the power aspect of it. And I'm trying to think if Canelo has faced someone with the power that Bud has, because I think Bud, I think you
Yeah.
could
I mean,
say,
he's fought bigger guys. He had to. Yeah.
yeah.
Like I would. I don't know if Bud is like a harder puncher than like Jaime Munguia, but he's a better boxer. You know what I mean? Like
I think it's hard to say because it's in a different weight class. Like at
yeah,
147, yeah, he's got. I think Bud had devastating power.
yeah. That's different though. Like
Right.
I can't compare Bud to like Sergey Kovalev. You know
No,
what I
yeah, it's
mean?
a little,
Like
but that's the thing.
Mar-
He's jumping up weight classes. Wasn't able to
Marlon
hurt Madrimov. Will he be able to hurt Canelo? That's the big question for me. I
Marlon
don't know.
Marlon 2631. Canelo says, I mean, Canelo fans, y'all have 2 days left. Prepare to cry. What's up, my people? We know who Marlon's riding with in this one. Bruce Gas, Boxing Jazz, and more says salute. Mateo says, I got a lot of close rounds, but I got Crawford getting the early rounds and Canelo heating up later. Crawford by split decision.
Mm.
You have it the reverse. And I think I'm on your side where I think because Crawford is not always a fast starter. Not that Canelo.
Canelo isn't either.
Well, he dropped Munguia and dropped Berlanga both in like round 3, round 4 ish. Ryder was a little later. Charlo was in the middle, like round 7 ish, something along those lines. So like I think the first couple rounds could be really slow.
I
And
think
then
the
we'll
first
see.
couple of rounds are gonna be boring as fuck. Okay, like these two guys are going to be giving each other a lot of respect. I don't even cuss on this this podcast very much, but I think the first few rounds are going to be very boring, Brian. Like
Mateo
the
also
first
says
3 rounds, boring.
Mateo also says I can't see Bud bullying like Bevo in the second half of that fight. See, if he did that, then that would tell me Canelo was just straight up washed. I'd be
Yeah.
surprised if that happens because I thought some of that with Bevo was also the size.
Well, that's the thing.
You
Like, I
know?
think Canelo has like, and if anyone talks to him about Beeble, he'll be like, "Well, I was moving up in weight." Like he has that excuse,
Oh
right? And
God.
Beeble's like the best though in that weight class,
Yeah, they didn't think so ahead of time. They were like,
right?
ah,
I
we'll
mean,
get the
we knew that.
title. We'll get the
I bet
title off
on
this
Beeble in
guy.
that fight. I bet on Beeble in that fight to beat
Smart.
Canelo.
Smart. Listen,
Um,
Crawford, I'll say this about the size too. Crawford is still taller. It's not by much, but he's still taller. Canelo's like 5'7" and a
And the
half.
wingspan too. Canelo, like
And
Crawford's wingspan is
so this is the
crazy.
key. His reach is 74 inches. Canelo's is like 70 and a half,
It's crazy.
which means Crawford has a 6'2" inch reach. He has the reach of somebody who would standard will be 6'2", despite being like 5'8", maybe 5'9". Whereas Canelo's reach is about 5'10" and a half. And I think that's gonna matter.
Hey, yeah, this is funny.
Canelo told
wait.
Doug Fisher that 13 fights are not on his pro resume. Did he?
Okay.
That doesn't make me feel great about
Coach
wear and
Mario,
tear.
me kind of have similar sentiments. Read that out there, Brian.
Coach Mario says this fight's going to suck. You watch, ends in a draw. I could 100,000 million% see that happening.
I've said it, like it's not gonna be unanimous.
Jesus, what is this in reference to? Brian, it's called boxing, not too big. What do you mean?
Because we kind of talking about size.
I think size matters, but I also think size is overrated. Like,
pause.
I think
I had to do it. I was being immature today, guys. You didn't even do it. You were being serious.
I also shouldn't be the person. I also shouldn't be the person saying that. You should be the person saying that, if anything.
That's
I
why
think
it was funnier because you said it. That's why it was hilarious.
I think as it pertains to because ultimately, like, if you're good enough, you could overcome the size difference. And I think the case for anybody saying Crawford's going to win this is that they're saying Crawford's just better and the size won't matter. And if you're saying Canelo's going to win this, you're saying he's still good enough or that he's better and the size is not, and the size is going to mean everything. And to me, in this specific example, I think Canelo Alvarez, like, the size advantage is there in terms of like the sheer strength, I suppose. But I think Terence Crawford could overcome that. And I think Terence Crawford is one of the only dudes who I think could overcome that in this way. Like, Inoue is another one where if he goes up a certain weight and maybe takes a couple less chances, is like 10% less of a crowd pleaser. Yeah, I think he can get it done against some of the bigger guys too. Not necessarily 135, but obviously 126, 130.
If you're in the comments, drop them. Let us know how you're going to be betting this one. Also, if you like the content, hit that like and subscribe button. And remember to follow us on our social media channels. You guys, there's any final thoughts?
Usyk did it against Tyson Fury, by the way, and has done it against all the other heavyweights he's fought. Like, we're talking about a 14-pound difference. Usyk had to overcome more than that against some of these guys.
I think Usyk's like in a lane of his own, though, because of the way he fights and how skilled he is and how he moves around the ring, because he's not one-dimensional. He's very crafty, hard to beat. I mean, he's one of the he's pound for pound #1 in my books right now. But we're seeing, listen, if Bud gets it done against Canelo and does it in like a statement, like it's gonna be madness.
If he rocks Canelo, I'm gonna jump. I'm gonna be like, what?
I'm gonna like lose my mind. I won't even be on the post-fight show.
But then if we work backwards, if he rocks Canelo, like just rocks him or whatever, we'll work backwards to be like, oh yeah, see, the miles finally caught up to Canelo in like a real way.
Yeah, and I think that's what it will be. I'm very excited for this fight because I thought it was a dream fight, but it's going down. Join us for the post-fight show, guys. We will be rocking with you after the final bell, and you can join us, talk to us about the fight. We'll be taking your comments. Also, if you're watching this after the fact, please drop your comments. Let us know how you're going to be betting this fight.